Very good. And we are back this week. Hello, everyone. Just took a little bit but we are back, full running and everything. And now we have a special guest, Kelly. We know you, but maybe not on your voice. But welcome to have you, so we can talk about some very voodoo magic. Voodoo,
Voodoo.
voodoo,
Woo. Crystal Woo.
crystal woo. Okay,
Crystal Woo.
It's hard to say. I can't
Yeah,
say it.
yeah.
I try to
Right,
avoid it.
no, I can't either. And you know what? And you know what's funny? Because I kind of thought about this too. You know those like infomercials where you saw like Lady Cleopatra or mom or whatever her name was, where she had the tarot cards and stuff. Like I thought I never really saw a lot of crystal magic or whatever you want to call
hmm
it, but I kind of related that same concept as like the same thing. So definitely gonna learn something, I guess.
There's definitely a
Yeah.
crossover.
It's
Okay.
in the same vein in that everyday objects have a connection with the universe. So normal objects like rocks and cards, or anything that you can fashion out of wood, accessories, earrings, and stuff like that, have some sort of
Yeah.
mystical connection to the universe.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Maybe.
Well, well, it makes sense that there's a crossover, not that it like actually makes sense.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that clearly, yes. But yes, Kelly, so glad to have you. I know just like a little brief introduction for you, like you are one of our moderators on the Atheist Community Discord
I
for
am.
a number of months now. And not only do you help with, building that community, you also host Tuesday night, meet an ACA cast and crew interviews, and
Yes.
that's been going on for wow,
Since
I
January, I
yeah,
started it.
beginning
I
of the
started it.
year.
Yeah, I started it the first Tuesday of this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you. I know we kind of briefly talked before the show about it, but your contribution in starting that up, besides, the main days is, the Sunday shows, but during the week it's a bit of a lull. And it's not as active until you have, Thursday night secular sexuality, which our good friend of the show, Jack, is on there right now, cutting up storm.
Yeah,
Props
doing
to
a great
them.
job.
Yeah. And then, on Friday when we have, Truth Wanted, but, towards the beginning of the week, it's a lull. And you
hmm
have maybe those new people that come into the Discord and kind of situate themselves and things like that. And yeah, we do have, I'm sorry, almost instantly forgetting Monday with RFR. But yeah, Tuesday was brilliant. What's that time again? Central time?
It's 5 Central.
Yeah, yeah. Pirate, taking the reins of that has been great. So we
Thanks.
appreciate you for doing so.
Thanks. I really wanted to give everybody a chance to see what happens behind the scenes of making the show and talk to the people who put it together. So it's been really enjoyable for me. It's been a real experience. I've learned a lot myself. I was a call screener before I started the show,
Mm.
and but I mean, I doing the show and talking to people like Greg and Vern. I've really gotten to know the intricacies of putting the show together, and the crew there is just amazing.
Yeah. No, yeah, they're good people. And that's it's tough trying to organize all that stuff. And
hmm
but the benefit, like I was kind of saying, is that, a lot of people know of the big names and everything, but you get the recurring hosts there from the other shows that we host on ACD that people are not as familiar of. And it's always nice to kind of, have a human conversation and you realize that they're just as normal or crazy or whatever like
hmm
anyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's cool. And now you're officially in the hot seat. Well, this is not the hottest seat because you were on Neil's show the other day, but still a hot seat where you can still, have your starlight and we, get to learn some crystal woo. So that's
Learned
fun.
about Crystal Wu. Yeah.
Yeah. I see your like your work from home shop in the back, so that's awesome.
Yes, I'm upstairs from my store right now in my office/workshop.
Nice. Well, how do we want to kick this off? What do you got? What's bobbling in your head about Crystal Wu, Justin?
Um, Justin, you want to start?
No, yeah, no, I just wanted to, say thank you for joining us. And, there's a couple things to get into, like Jenna was just talking about your experience with kind of hosting interviews and kind of getting to know some of the lesser known or up and coming and hosts and other people involved with the shows. And that's helped a lot in kind of bridge the community.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But as far as crystal rock woo stuff like that, it's kind of your wheelhouse. Um, yeah, I mean you can dive into whatever you want, but some of the things that I wanted to ask are um, and these are things that I've already seen you talk about a little bit here and there on Facebook, so I
Mhm.
already have some insight into your responses. But I think one of the things is like, how do you deal with people that are looking for these items that come to you? Because it seems like most people that are selling, to a layperson, that they're just rocks, would have no problems selling things that people are whatever they're looking for. Hey, I'm looking for a magical rock or a regular rock or whatever it may be. They would just sell them whatever they want.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hmm.
When I first started selling rocks, actually, I believed in all of it. So as I became around them more and started experimenting with them and actually starting to learn the science, I realized that it was really BS.
So
So
you're a trained and educated geologist, correct?
yes,
So you were selling rocks before you had
Y-
that education?
yes, I went to school
Okay.
first to get a degree in English/journalism because I
Hmm.
wanted to study something I could really get a job with. English, right? And then and then after I started
How dare
selling
you not do
rocks,
STEM? How dare
yeah,
you?
right. So after I started selling rocks with my English degree, I really wanted to get a better understanding of them. So I went back and got a degree in geology. So
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Um, I think because I remember just kind of hinting from the deconversion story you did on Neil's show that your start moving into your legitimate selling of rocks was when you got influenced by paganism first, right?
right,
Or what?
right.
Or
Yeah, the
well,
whole
it was
paganism
within
Wiccan
pagan.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. And then that, you guys toured, you and your wife at that time toured for a while, sold jewelry and you made them and stuff like that. And then
Hmm.
that's when somewhere in that in between did your study and transition to doing what you do now.
Yeah, I started questioning it a lot. I'd been doing it for 3 or 4 years. It was pretty lucrative. We were not even while we were in between tours, we were doing a lot of things in the Chicagoland area. Like we had a psychic fair circuit we would go with, and they would set up at a hotel in one of the banquet halls, and they'd have 12 psychics there to read your tarot cards. And I would be set up in the corner selling magic stones to everybody, and the psychics would actually tell people what stones they needed and send them over to me to get them. It was it was pretty lucrative, and I started in the early days of it. There was 3 books that you could buy that would tell you about the magic powers of the stones, and they were all 3 different. So here I am. I'm wondering, well, which one am I supposed to believe? What powers
Yeah.
is it to? And that's what started me wondering and experimenting. And then I started realizing that they really weren't helping anybody out. That hanging out with most of the psychics, I realized that they were just charlatans, and I was starting not to be able to sleep at night. And I was already starting to just learn about the science of it on my own, and I kind of just broke away from it one day. I just stopped doing it. I just cut the thread.
Wow.
And then you went to school for this after that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah, like you had reference, I'll pull up what our good friend Giggler, I guess he's
Hi,
wondering
Giggler.
what's behind you.
There,
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of rocks. Actually, a lot of it is mail order stock that's off my website. But right behind that is my silver workshop. And yeah, but I do have a cool microscope. That is the coolest thing on the shelf to me.
Oh, that's
So wait, yeah. So what you're saying is, as long as you have a piece of lab equipment in the background, people will think that you're in a lab.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm gonna start putting a microscope behind me among my
Yeah, right.
Are you
among my
in the
pillows.
lab?
I'm in the lab. Yeah, testing pillow fibers.
I could be in the mine though. There's a miner's helmet above me too.
Testing pillow
Oh.
fibers.
I know, terrible joke. No, there is one rock I have my eye on, but I need to rub a few more nickels before I can get it. So
Yeah.
you're cutting me a deal, so I like that too. And it's almost as purple as my hair now. So
Oh, you know what?
I
If you
do
want
want it.
if you want a nice purple rock, I will just send you one. You don't even have to buy it.
Bro, what that thing? Like, do you have it close by?
It's still behind
That
me.
big. Oh, show it, please. Oh, I
I
don't
want to
want
make
it
sure
to
I don't get caught here. It's
oh, that's beautiful.
a large cluster of calcite crystals,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's on amethyst,
That
solid
is
chunk of
legit.
amethyst. So
Yeah. I want that so bad. That is gorgeous.
it's
Yeah.
pretty rock.
No, I'm a sucker for purple, and amethyst is like, I think,
It
is
came
amethyst my
from an old
birthstone? I don't think so. I don't think.
February.
No, yeah, you're right. Shit. It's
Darn.
I'm the blue one, whatever the blue one is.
Aquamarine.
Yes, thank you.
March.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my job.
That's a good question too. No, that's actually that's a good question because I often wondered that, and I had my fit because purple was always my favorite color, and I wasn't born in February. My sister was, so I always would get pissed at her for no reason. But what is there? Do you know of any significance as to why months in the year were labeled certain,
Some
rocks
of it's
or whatever?
traditional.
Yeah.
Some of it goes back to the breastplate of Aaron from the Bible. Actually,
Huh.
the current set was basically made up just after the turn of the last century by Tiffany's. So yeah, so no, there's really no significance
I,
to it
oh,
except for jewelers to make money, basically. Honestly,
okay. Well, that shot me down.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, it makes sense. Like, of course, that's just that makes perfect sense that it's just an added sell ploy, for people to be like, oh, my birthstone is this. I have to get everything in my birthstone or
Well,
things like
in a
that.
way, that's kind of crystal woo. It's taking this rock and
Mhm.
making it something special and magical, and then we're going to charge you more money for it, right?
Nice.
Well, I mean, a birthstone is effectively like materialized astrology, where it just
Yes,
we're
exactly,
adding
exactly,
some significance to the time you were born,
exactly.
and some magical effect on it.
Yeah. I know one often thing a lot of high school graduates did because you get that, you get the yearbook thing and then you get this order form where you have to order like your class ring, class
Hmm.
whatever. And I ordered one myself. There they are.
Finally
Hey,
back.
finally back.
I have no
Technical
idea what
difficulties.
happened.
It happens.
Hello. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
No, you're good. Glad to have you. No, I was yeah, you get those people that order those, class
Hmm.
whatever.
The class
And
rings.
yeah, I mine is forever lost and like I poor parents spend, hundreds of dollars on some bullshit, but um mine was a ring, gold, and had my class year, and I requested for it to be my birthstone. Obviously I wanted the purple one, but it didn't make sense. So I was like, I just, I have to get my birthstone. So yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like the person applies their own significance to something, and so that's the same thing as far as Crystal Wu is that stems off paganism
It's
primarily.
sort of like the same idea, like Justin said. It's just like astrology in the material sense. Here's this thing that's representing a piece of astrology, which is woo,
Hmm.
right? And but most of crystal woo is about healing, either in a physical sense or in a psychological sense, an emotional sense. That this type of rock is going to heal this ailment that you have.
Wait, do mood rings work?
Oh, you read my mind.
I'm not actually sure what mood rings are. Chemically, I'm not sure what they are. So,
Oh, your education has failed you.
yeah. So
Max-
Failed all of us.
I should have been hanging out at the flea market more, I guess.
Dang. Ah. Well,
That's where the real education is, you know.
yeah. There you go.
Yep.
See,
You
look,
get a degree in woology.
Ollie
You can
knows
be a
Kristen, you know.
woologist. Yeah, Ollie Man's on. You're done.
You're dead.
Hi, Aliman. How you doing? That was why I got into it too, because people were really because people get hurt. They're instead of going to a doctor, they're getting a piece of jade because they have a problem with their kidney, and that's just not right. You know, it's why I fight against it, because I really think it's physically hurting people.
Yeah, I mean it's in the same vein as faith healing, as you know, a lot of anti-vaxxers, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
alternative medicine gurus, and you know, to some extent they don't know any better, but there's somebody on some level who's a charlatan that's pushing these that does know better, and they you know, they set up shops, and these are totally unregulated markets. Like, the government is not doing anything to stop it. They punish people after the fact, but they don't stop people from selling these products that don't do any good. And then they might punish the parents for not getting their children the proper medical treatment. But you can buy homeopathic remedies at the store all day, every day,
Yeah,
right next to the real medicine.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's doing anything about it, and it's really frustrating. Or your vitamins and minerals is absolutely unregulated. They can make various claims, as long as they don't claim to cure a very particular disease or ailment. They can say whatever they want, promotes general health and
It's,
wellness and blah blah blah.
but vitamin D does cure COVID, like for real.
But so, I mean, this is just one of many forms of you know, alternative medicines, or alternative or holistic medicine is what they would
Mhm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
That does nothing. It's the placebo at best.
Yeah.
Right. And placebo. A lot of people don't understand placebos. I've actually done a lot of research into it because people bring them up with me. It comes up in these debates that I have all the time, and I'm often surprised how much people don't know about a placebo. But in the end, if instead of teaching somebody who can walk how to use a crutch, just show them they can walk, right?
Hmm.
And
Right.
that's
Yep.
that's the way I look at that the view of them being used as a placebo.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that would argue that, oh, what's wrong with the placebo? If it makes them feel better, or if it makes them feel like it's helping, even if it's not really, isn't feeling better actually better? And it's like, yeah, to some extent, but we're not curing a bad mood.
Right,
You know,
and we can
we're
teach.
talking about diseases and you know, other real problems.
Right, and if we are talking about mood, we can teach that person to feel better on their own. They don't need the placebo. That's
Hmm.
one of my
Mhm.
points. And in the end, they'll be better off because
Right.
they'll be able to rely on themselves and not some outside force. Right.
Yeah.
And you know, that ties into the all the conversations we have about religion. Is like, when people say, oh, people need religion to feel like they have purpose, or religion makes them feel good, or church makes them feel good. It's like, yeah, it does, because it's all they know. It's the only way they know how to find this, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's other ways to find community. There's other ways to find meaning and
Mhm.
happiness in life. We just don't have the tools for it.
Right.
A lot of the arguments I have are a lot like talking to a theist. A lot of the debates I have
Well,
about crystal rule is really a lot like talking to a theist.
well, I mean, we've had this conversation before, because I've spent a lot of time on social media over the years talking to anti-vaxxers, which are the worst. But
Mm-hmm.
the conversation, now, first of all, most of them are theists, and most of them are creationists, to some form or another. But so the conversations they're not only paralleled, or it's not only like that, but these beliefs stem from the other beliefs, and it kind of gets them thinking that, like, miracles or magic and blah blah blah, distrust in science, it all stems from the same kind of like faulty logic and faulty reasoning, where and these beliefs build on one another. They're not necessarily anti-vax or believe in healing rocks or whatever because they're religious, but they believe for the same reasons, and the many different things that are like unscientific and just don't have good evidence for them.
Right. It takes the same mindset, right?
Mhm.
To believe in religion, to believe in anti-vaxxing, to believe that COVID's a hoax.
Right.
Right.
Yep. And we've had that talk, and I'm sure healing crystals and healing, rock woo or crystal woo, whatever you want to call it, a lot of that has the same reasoning for people being anti-big pharma and all this other stuff. It's fear of big government. It's fear of big pharma. It's distrust in authority and experts and this and that. So basically, if a doctor says this is the way to do it, they must automatically be wrong. And this holistic doctor or chiropractor or whatever it is more relatable personally to me. So what they're saying must be correct.
Right. Right.
So
It's also this idea of like synthetic chemicals versus natural stuff. Like, oh, these crystals are from the natural world,
from the earth.
They must be good.
Mother Gaia.
But we
don't need to talk about
are
synthetic diamonds.
Yeah,
Synthetic diamonds really bother me, or the whole conversation bothers me.
Yeah, but like these chemicals that are made in a lab, or they're combined in a lab to make the certain medications. That's just sketchy, and it's like, but
it's all that's still natural too, though, right?
If I if I rub this rock against my face a couple times, will that cure my headaches or something? Because this rock is from nature.
If you rub it hard enough, it'll knock you out.
Gotta hit it against a couple times.
There's somewhat of a financial factor involved too. I mean, if somebody really needs therapy and they can't afford it, it's so much easier to buy a $5 tumbled stone and carry it in my pocket, because that's going to help me.
So there's chakras.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's so much easier just to have $20 worth of crystals that help me out instead of paying a therapist $50 every week.
Sure. Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's kind of adding on to what I already said. A conversation we've had before a few times is people are so distrustful of these big corporations, these hospital systems with thousands of hospitals across the country, or big pharma, big government, all this other stuff. It's because it's so expensive, and most of it is for profit, and people are distrustful of big organizations that are for profit. And there's this idea that there's something inherently bad or evil about it. And they're only there to make money. And if they're only there to make money, how could they possibly have your care as their best interest?
Right. Your best interest at heart. Good question from the chat. Our good old Ollie man. What level of shaman do you have to be for crystal woo to be able to cure kidney stones?
You have to be a 12th level woo wizard.
Done. Done.
Ollie man, put that in your D&D game. Woo wizard.
Yes. Oh man. I hate when I lose my train of thought because I had a question.
Here, put these rocks against your face and they'll help you.
There you go, and you'll get it back. There you go.
There you go.
This is why I need that big ass rock so I can rub it against my face.
Yeah, if you eat enough fish oil, it improves your memory.
There you go, Jenna.
I was just playing with a little rock cube too, just before the show
look
started.
at that. They're the same.
Yeah, isn't that coincidental?
There you go.
Look at that.
I don't know, for like Christmases or something, my mom would get me one of those, like, here's a thing of gold with a chip this away with like these little chisels and get these random rock things, and these are just the random rock things I got. So I'm just like, all right, I'll keep them.
Cool.
Dang.
Yeah, I actually just bought a bag full of these to make necklaces out of, so I was playing with one of them, just kind of playing with it nervously before.
So, Kelley, this is something I asked you before the show, but I think it's worth like reiterating. Is what I mean? It would be easy for you to kind of like turn against your field or turn against your moral compass here and start selling these things on the side or as your main business or whatever it is. Start selling, these items that are in high demand. People want them. I don't know if they're necessarily willing to pay that much for them, but and you've mentioned on your page, your social media, that people ask for them all the time. I want a rock that does this magical healing thing in particular, or this type of rock for this reason. And I know that you shut them down at the door, tell them that's we don't sell that here, and if that's what you're looking for, you're better off looking somewhere else.
Yes, yep. We've gotten actually bad reviews on Facebook for our rock shop because of it, because our crystals don't have good energy because we don't believe in it. So
if they bought a rock from you, it's your fault that it doesn't have good energy?
No, well, they came into the store. We have a big sign and when you walk, well, it's not a big sign. We have a sign when you walk in the door that you can't miss, and it says something like, our crystals are guaranteed to have no healing powers whatsoever. If in fact you are healed, we will give you a full refund if you can present not a letter from a licensed doctor. So they come in, they see that sign, and they just turn around and walk out. And
so they know that you've taken all the magic out of the rocks, and you're storing it
by putting up that sign.
You're storing all the magic.
Wow.
So the question is, what is stopping you from doing that if it's potentially profitable?
A few things. Number one, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. It was one of the reasons I stopped doing it to begin with.
Personal moral compass, got it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have one of those.
Unfortunately.
And
I hear you can drink that away.
And the other two are really financial based. One is, they're both based on the fact that people who go for this tend not to spend a lot of money on it. They only want to buy a $5 or a $10 or a $20 rock. They're doing that instead of therapy a lot of times. They don't have the kind of money to spend. So to make $200, I've got to make 20 sales, and that's a lot of work. And I do a lot of my business over on the internet, over mail order. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of work. And if I can just sell one rock for $200, it's so much easier for me. And I just turned 61, so if it's easier, pardon?
I said
it's the crystal energy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gotcha.
And so if I can be lazier, I'm all for that. And the other thing is that I sell a lot of specimens that are that range up into thousands of dollars, $2,000, $3,000 to $4,000. I'd say average sales for us is about $500 to a good collector. And I can't do that in the woo market. And if I started catering to the woo market, the people who do buy in that other market, they won't take me seriously anymore.
So are you essentially saying that woo believers are cheap?
No, because some of them do have money. Look at Nick Cage. I mean, he spent a lot of crazy money on crystals and fossils, right? But in general, the people who go in for that kind of thing generally aren't real. They just generally don't have a lot of money, for the most part, because a lot of them have problems that they haven't been able to solve through professional avenues, right? And that's why they've turned to the rocks.
And or they can they don't have the means to actually seek that specialty to adhere.
Right.
To
yes. Yeah. So a lot of people have fallen through the cracks, really. I mean, it really is. In a way, it's kind of sad, which is why I want to get those people away from it, because a lot of those people need real help,
and that's a a more serious conversation that we tend to have here, is that people who believe in these things, people who, like you said, fall into these traps and fall into these positions where they start following people that are selling them basically magical cures and stuff. It's
Mm.
no fault of their own. They're influenced by people within the social groups and social media, and they are inherently distrustful of experts because they seem to be like for profit. And the government and big corporations have done shady things over the years that kind of warrant distrust. Not, I wouldn't say like automatically disbelieve them and believe somebody else, but
They did MK Ultra. What are they doing now?
right,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's
Yeah.
like they've done something, so it's like, okay, they're not perfect either, so they have to
Yeah.
earn the trust and be better at communicating and bringing people into the fold. And and then the online communities, the skeptic and communities need to be better at reaching out to these people who are
Yeah.
distrustful, and instead of making fun of them or pushing them away or just saying, oh, you're stupid, you don't understand it, whatever it is. I mean, many or most of us believed in woo and pseudoscience and religion and all kinds of stuff at one point. And we didn't get smarter, we just became more aware of what the information that's available and how reliable information is obtained. um,
Absolutely.
and
Right.
and people are going to believe the group of people that's more nicer and welcoming and more relatable to them. And we see that with all these types of beliefs.
Yeah.
So if everybody's a bunch of assholes, you're not just going to take their word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's easy to get captured, or stay within that, or leave and then get captured back in. It's a struggle because you see the support and the false belief that you fed, because it's uplifting, it's warm. It's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I can have this, or this will happen to me," or things like
Yeah.
that. Versus, no one wants to be hit with reality, because reality sucks
Sucks.
most
Yeah.
times. It's hard. It's difficult. It's challenging. It's a struggle, but it's real. And you want to be frank, to a degree, but unfortunately, you see this a lot in small atheist communities and groups and stuff, that you know it's too much of the talking down, or insinuating that the other is stupid for believing, or just calling them outright liars, just because, based on their experience, based on the
That's
knowledge that they grew up on and raised and still hold on to. They're not deliberately lying, or they aren't presenting themselves absolutely dishonest. I mean, yeah, you have those in betweens, but for the regular person that doesn't like try to pitch arguments, this
mm-hmm.
is what they follow. This is what they were taught, and this is the world that they know, and they're comfortable with that. So when they're met with the negative on the opposite side, of course they're just going to just hang on to the positive and the comfort and the support,
Mm-hmm.
because who doesn't want that?
It's hard to get shocked out of your reality, right? I
Very
mean,
hard.
it is. It is. That's kind of the reason I started writing the essays, the series of essays I've been doing on Facebook was, and I do at the end of every one of them say, if you want to learn about rocks, talk to a geologist, a mineralogist. Don't talk to the part-time seller here on Facebook or the person selling the crystal necklaces at the local fair. And because those people, while I don't think they're trying to rip you off, many of them fervently believe what they're telling people when they come and buy that crystal.
Sure.
This is gonna cure your blood problem. They really believe that. I really believed it at one time, so I can understand that. It's not
Mm.
their fault that they were fooled by somebody else, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just the continuing trap. And actually, that did pose a question in my head, like, because you said you yourself, were a believer in all of this. As far as the magic behind, crystals, what practice is done? What makes it enchanted? Borrowing a word from Styx in reference to his Minecraft. But like, what makes having this piece of jewelry, or this crystal, or carrying it, or having it, set up in your house, like, what practice is done to create this enchantment over it? And from that, when the person buys it, what do they do in their own practice as far as keeping their,
Hmm.
you know?
That's the best and easiest thing. You don't have to do anything most of the time. You just have to have it.
Hmm.
Keep it in your pocket. Keep it in your house.
Yeah,
Put it next to your computer, and it'll suck up the EMF waves and keep you healthier.
Hmm.
it's like the
That's
intrinsic properties of the rock is what makes it,
right.
do whatever it's meant to do.
Everything has vibrations, and it's the unique vibrations of this rock that are making that are affecting you in your aura and your energy. Because everything's energy, right? So that energy, the energy of that rock is affecting the energy of your body and helping it just by being there.
Oh, okay. And
It's
you know
it's
what?
sort of
That,
like
yeah.
a twist of quantum physics.
Okay. No, and that,
Oh,
as you
we
said
don't need
that,
to
that
get
makes,
started on
yeah.
quantum woo is like a whole new realm of woo that's infected everything.
Well, yeah, and it's infected. It's really intrinsically the bottom of how this is supposed to work too.
Mhm.
Deepak
If you want to
Chopra.
have a lot of fun, go ask a crystal dealer what a negative ion is if you know what one is.
No,
Nah, I'm
Because
good.
some of
sorry.
the responses are pretty funny.
Okay,
I'm
go
good.
ahead, Jenna. I apologize.
No, 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 you're okay. No, and I'll post up Stig's question. I know there was a number of comments and questions. I'll get to them, I promise. But I was just gonna say that it makes sense. I don't know if it was referenced here in the live stream or before we aired that, you know, people being more comfortable with the natural versus something that's synthetic,
Hmm.
dialing back to anti-vaxxers of things being made and shooting it into our bodies because government tells you to. People are more honed in on, this is from the earth, and it's natural and it's made for us because it's here. So we shouldn't mess with it. So as is, it is good for me. So it makes sense that you just set it up in your home and do nothing.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, that makes sense. And I'm gonna run through some comments before we continue. And then here's a lovely question from Stidix. Question for Kelley. As an ex-believer and geologist, what was your deconversion story regarding this mineral crystal rule?
All right, so you can watch the first 10 minutes and
There you go.
There's your
You know what,
answer.
those
Moving on.
aesthetics, if you ever want to talk to me about it in person, just go ahead and DM me, and I'd be more than happy to, go into details with you. So,
you
Or
but
can
if
you
yeah,
you
can
can
you can
stream
you
stick.
can sum it up. You can do a quick summary of it
Yeah,
again.
go ahead.
I got into it because of a girlfriend who became my future ex-wife. And the more I was around it and the more I was around psychics that were pushing it, the more I began to disbelieve it and have problems sleeping at night. So I started looking into the science of it, doing experiments on my own, and realized that it really didn't work. That's about it in a nutshell.
So the community or the immediate community and people you were involved with at the time were into it, and then you kind of just went along with it for some time, and then realized,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this isn't for me. So I mean, how would you say that you diverged from it where other people didn't?
Hmm,
Um,
that's a good question.
I I guess for the same reason I left religion. I realized that what I was believing in wasn't real. You know, um, a lot of people going back to not trusting things and having that alternative view of something, an alternative medicine or alternative realities or conspiracies, right? I realized that those weren't true. And I realized that that wasn't having an open mind. Having an open mind was thinking that maybe the things I really truly believed in weren't factual. So I opened my mind, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I put the crystal woo under the same microscopic lens that I had already put my religion under, and realized that
Yeah.
I had just traded one for the other.
That I think it's good to point out, having an open mind. I mean, people say that,
Yeah.
if you don't believe in this, whatever X is, then you don't have an open mind. But that's
I
not, then it is the kind of like the meme joke response is, it's good to have an open mind, but not so open that your brain falls out. So there's a difference between having an open mind and being open to be receptive to and evaluate all are new ideas, rather than just believing things just because.
Yeah.
And those are things that kind of get conflated of oh, you don't believe this, so you don't have an open mind. It's like, well, I've heard the arguments, I've seen the evidence, and I don't believe it. I mean, what more could you ask of somebody?
Yeah.
I like to tell those kind of people that having an open mind doesn't mean believing in alternative facts,
Right.
because that's just following a shepherd with a smaller flock.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
And just because you don't believe in X doesn't make Y automatically true or whatever. Just because you don't believe the government doesn't mean that your alternative, doctor or whoever it is automatically correct.
Right.
And we've seen that with things recently like COVID and stuff like that. When people say like, oh, the numbers to COVID are wrong or inflated, I will say, well, tell me what the accurate information and what the accurate science is that you believe, and I will go look into that. And there's not one time has been a response to that made any sense, but they just believe whatever they're told by whoever they relate to, and that's kind of the same idea there. Hey, Malty.
Hi,
Sir
Malty.
Malty, welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
Sir Malty has been
Good to
knighted.
see you.
He's a knight of IFWAS.
Knight of
yeah.
IFWAS, Sir Malty.
Sir Malty.
Sir Malty of
I tend to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Before
You'll find me everywhere. It's almost like a multiverse.
That was pretty good.
Terrible.
I love it.
Take him off the stream.
You're done.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
the what's the fallacious where I can't think of I don't understand it, so I don't understand your point, so my point must be right.
Argument from ignorance, I think.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yes, I think that's what I was thinking of.
I don't understand it, therefore it's not possible or something. I guess is that argument from ignorance?
I don't. Yeah, so like it kind of feels that a little bit like that when you're talking about, they don't believe your numbers, but they don't have numbers to show you. When you talk about that,
I don't know if that's like a
yeah. That's a good way. That's a really good way of putting it with a lot of the people that I talk to anyway. 'Cause I get people at least once a month that want to debate me on it on Facebook, and and I get told every single time that I don't have an open mind, every single time. So, but yeah, that was a good way to put it, Malty.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna run through some of these comments because they're funny, especially from Stitix. There's an item in Minecraft that you can use to take the enchantments off of your gear. I bet Kelley has one of those in the back room.
Kelley, what is your disenchantment stone look like?
Oh man,
I really have a wand. Is it like a wand?
Yeah, I actually have a stalactite that's about this long that looks like a magic wand. I wish I had it within reach because I would have just here it is, But
that's legit.
Is it like the same type of item that you would demagnetize metal with? Like you just
it's literally a stalactite that was hanging down in a cave at one time. So it came out of Mexico. It's really cool looking, actually. We actually have it in a case with a little sign on it saying the magic wand because it really does look like one.
All right, so the answer is the item to take enchantments off of the gear is an enchanted item that he found in a cave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a stalactite that was enchanted by a 14th level wizard.
He found a magic he found a magic wand growing out of a rock. Okay.
In Mexico. It was imported.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what the semi-solid magnetic metal is? I remember seeing YouTube videos of it, but I don't know what it is called.
I'm not sure on that one, to be honest with you.
Semi-solid ferrous or
semi-solid magnet metal.
Yeah, I'm not positive on that one. Sorry, Element.
We'll look it up and get back to you.
I was about to say I could find out. I could definitely find out for you though.
We'll have you the report for you in the morning.
Yeah. No. LOL.
Are you just gonna use comments to provide your own response?
It worked? Did it not work? It worked. Wait, I was wondering if Kelley. Oh, I was wondering if Kelley had any. Oh, of the semi-solid magnetic thing.
I do not. I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
You know what? Actually, what's your favorite rock? Is that like a layman's term to just say rock?
Yeah, I felt weird the whole show. It was like, hey, Kelley sells rocks
Yeah, like
by the rock shore.
It's it's a good term. It's one that everybody uses. A mineral, a rock is composed of minerals. Mostly, I sell mineral specimens. What does my favorite mineral say? I have a specimen that I sometimes keep in my lap like a baby when I'm watching TV at home, and it's a piece of salamalene. It's a manganese mineral. And it looks like a bunch of black balls all held together by black string. It's really cool.
So salami latte.
I definitely spelled this right.
It looks it's PSI.
Whoa, I was way off. Okay.
Yeah, right. I know,
PSI.
right? LO
Uh-huh.
MELANE.
Got it.
It looks like Pacillomane.
Yep.
Ooh, I like it. Okay.
Yeah, it's cool
I'm trying
stuff,
to get
right?
an image so I can.
Are you looking at a gemstone, cut and polished gemstone of it?
Sure.
Because it looks it makes this really cool silvery banded metallic looking gemstone. It's really
cool. Better yet, do you have anything close by?
Of salamalene? No,
yeah.
I do not. I do not. Sorry.
I'm trying to show things.
How many?
I got all kinds of stuff here. I got.
How many items do you have in your collection?
In my collection,
different types. Yeah.
Not
total rocks, but how many different types of things?
In my personal collection, not a lot because I kind of collect one thing.
Okay.
So, but I have about a little over 400 specimens of it, and it's a specific crystal formation. So I do have different minerals that all have that same formation. Yeah, there's some right there. Cool.
Salamalene.
None of those are as cool as mine.
Oh, of course.
Well, this is a picture on a screen, and you have the real thing.
Yeah.
What is this?
I have an amazing piece, though. That I mean, it's an amazing piece. There's the beautiful gemstone. Yeah.
I mean, this was made, right? Cut out that way.
Right. That was cut and polished.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's a marketing name for that called Crown of Silver.
It's hard. I mean, when you understand it, it makes sense. But it's hard to believe that like this and this and this are like all like just naturally. Yeah, they're the same and naturally found. It's like they just all look totally different. But I guess if there's different variations and different amounts of contaminants in these samples that make them look slightly different. So they're not all purely one mineral. Yeah.
And that's the different. A mineral is pretty much dug directly out of the ground. It's an oxide of some metals, and it's not like a purified or rarefied metal. It's right.
It could be a sulfide, oxide, hydroxide.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Usually, yeah.
I just call them rocks.
Yeah. Most people do.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that because most people do.
Like that's a pretty rock.
Yeah. And do you do the metamorphic? Well, what are crystals? Or what type of rock is it?
Crystals are always a mineral. They're never a rock. Crystals have to have a distinct chemical formula. They have to have a distinct crystal lattice, a regular formation, and they have to make a crystal with distinct faces.
Right. Open face cubic, rhomboid, all of that. Yeah.
Water isn't a mineral, but ice is.
Okay. So if you took
Is
some,
that good?
if you took
Justin
some
looks like he
quartz-
was confused by that.
If you took some
Well-
quartz and melt it down, it would no longer be a crystal.
As long as it was still in a liquid state, right?
If you melted it,
right.
so if you took
Right.
some sodium chloride and you heated it up enough until it was liquid.
Yeah, that's correct. Right. If it's still molten, it would not be a crystal. Correct.
Yeah.
Glass is not a crystal, right?
So what is glass?
It's a gel.
Oh.
Glass is weird. Yeah, they've
Look,
they've recast.
we're not. No, we're not.
classified those.
Melty, we're not. We're not going down the glass rabbit hole.
No fenestration work today.
No, look, it starts with glass, and then it goes to windows, and then it's like home construction, and it's the whole thing.
We can't go down the rabbit hole that is glass YouTube again.
Oh God.
To bring us back, opals are a gel too, just like glass.
What the fuck, Stidix?
See, Multi has a.
Do I collect cell ice? No.
Is that a code word?
All right. I mean, I took some chemistry, so I understand from solid to liquid.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get that.
And the in between.
And the in between, because you
Gel.
know gas. Oh, gel.
Gel.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Gas is a different thing. So you're
Yes,
solid liquid gel or solid liquid air.
And
Gas,
plasma.
sorry. And plasma is part solid, part gas, and in between solid and liquid is gel.
Huh. Yeah, this is not my
like
science.
hair gel.
Like
Make me want to make some ambrosia.
I'm gonna make some Jello. Hey,
You need to make the jello to make the ambrosia. You bet.
got me there.
You're a chemist.
That likes to make jello and Cool Whip and.
Cool Whip.
Fuck you.
What? Beep.
Oh my God! I did not expect that. Oh God, that was good.
He's still offended. He's
Yeah.
offended where he's not talking about glass still.
Another day, Multi. Another day. Wait. So, actually, I remembered my question about your favorite
Salami.
stone. Yes, salami. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Wow. I am never gonna remember that.
Yeah. See. So was the stone that you have you bought or you found somewhere?
I did buy it. It belonged to a very close friend of mine, a field geologist that used to work for De Beers. He's traveled all around the world looking for diamonds. But he has a lab a couple of towns over, and I was in his lab one day, and I saw it in a glass case, and I started drooling. I mean, he literally had to clean the floor up after I left. And later, when he moved out of the office, he offered to sell it to me for just an incredibly good price, and I couldn't pass it up. So I now own it. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. My son will have to sell it.
So that is a good question, and kind of leads into how do you source most of your minerals that you get?
I self collect maybe 10 or 15% of what we have in the store. My son and I. We
just
do
around
trade
your shop.
It's one of the well, not right around the town, but within a 2-3 hour drive of here. It's one of the reasons that I moved here a few years ago. I forgot where it was. We trade for some. I will take what I've been able to collect here and trade with somebody out in Colorado who's self-collecting theirs. So here's a box of my stuff, and they send me a box of their stuff. That's always fun to do. And then I buy direct from a lot of countries. I buy, straight from Mexico, straight from China, straight from India, straight from Pakistan, which I haven't been doing from Pakistan because customs keeps tearing it up. But I mean, it's bad.
So these are individual people that you were buying from, or is it regulated or in any way?
No, it's just people. No, not really. It's really kind of difficult in the beginning because you really don't know who you're dealing with. There's a big trade show every year in February in Tucson, Arizona, I mean, it's huge. Millions of people go down there. And I went down there several years. I actually met the people, saw what they had, and just stayed in touch with them over the years and kept dealing with the same people.
So this is other people that get, say, 10 or 15% of their collection from their local area and then trade it with other people doing the same thing and just kind of trading local specimens to each other.
In Tucson? No, it's all just dealers from all over.
I mean like just generally when you're trading from
Oh,
other
yeah,
countries,
right.
other states and stuff like that.
To
Yeah.
other states, yeah, definitely.
But other countries, these are bigger dealers than you're dealing with, or
So
smaller?
some of them are. I mean, a lot of them are people that are like me. You know, they don't have a lot. I've maybe got 7 or 8 tons of rocks, and most of it's cutting rough to make jewelry out of. So most of them probably have less tonnage than I do, the people that I'm buying from. A lot of them are independent miners that are going in some of the old mines that are closed down now. The piece that Jena likes came out of an old closed silver mine. The silver's all gone from it, so
I'm looking for a spot.
people are still going and getting the stuff that they left behind because they were looking for silver. Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. When
So
you
they just drop it. Yeah.
Yeah, when you open a mine for a very specific mineral, you leave everything else behind, or you don't see the value of it, or it's just not economic to pull these other items out of there. So there could potentially be closed mines all over the world that were mined for one specific thing with other stuff still in them.
Yep. There's 174 mines and prospects in the county I live in, and that's where I'm collecting at. So,
are there specific types of minerals that will like cohabitate with like you said, the silver mines? Would there be a specific semi-precious stone that is usually found with where silver's found?
There are some minerals that are often associated with other minerals. One of the big things that people always think of in that regard is golden quartz. And a lot of people who are going to go out and get rich finding gold, they think if they find quartz, they're going to find gold because it's an indicator for it. And it's just the opposite. If you find gold, you're going to find quartz. But people got this idea: if I go out and look for a quartz vein, there's going to be gold in it. But they often come together. Silver will come with quartz a lot too. So copper comes with malachite and azurite. Both are used as a gemstone. I have an azurite bracelet.
Oh, nice.
So how does that heal you?
It doesn't.
It's more of a strength buff.
It was a really cool rock. I used to carry it around in my pocket, and I was at a bar one night, and the guy asked me to make a bracelet for his son out of it, and I made him pay me half up front, and I made it, and he never came and picked it up. So that was almost 30 years ago, and I've been wearing it ever since.
So you're just advertising to get the other half of your money.
Yeah, I want to get the rest of my money out of it. I didn't really want to get rid of it
right now.
He had a really hard time talking me out of the stone, so I didn't really want to get rid of it anyway, and I still have it. So
wow. So maybe he just wanted to donate that half and let you keep the stone.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Wow. I have a very important question. Is there a secret criminal organization that trades rocks under the table? Like, is there a mob boss of rock selling?
I wouldn't say of selling rocks, but there is a lot of shady gem dealing and gold dealing going on in the world. And that's a definite. That's definite. Mostly out of Africa. You'll get some I'm sure it's happening out of Pakistan, Afghanistan, which is another reason I don't really buy from that area anymore, because I really don't know who I'm funding when I send money over there.
Whoa.
So I don't want to be incriminating or anything, but I there's like 2 people over there I still deal with because I've met them. I've known them for a long time, but I kind of shy away from just dealing with anybody over there. Yep, you got to stay away from Spectre and Hydra, definitely.
Good one, Ollie. Wow. I mean,
So
I
yeah,
won't. Yeah.
they make a movie about blood diamonds.
Oh yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
remember that movie.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've never seen it. I'm sure it was overly dramatized, but it's based on a real thing. So
No, I'm
unfortunately,
yeah. I mean, I said it jokingly, obviously, but yes, there is that type of, underground sale of blood diamonds and that kind of industry where people acquire these, rare jewels or whatever, and,
there's a lot of exploitation of third world people involved in it too. There really is.
mhm,
You
mhm.
get guys in Africa who are mining gold and pulling out ounces and ounces of it, and when they're selling it on the market, they're getting $30 an ounce for it, and they just worked 2 weeks to get that ounce. It's really sad. It's really sad.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. I had I'm kind of steering the topic a bit, but question about. I mean, this is might be outside of your wheelhouse, but the like real diamonds versus fake diamonds. Um, is there? Are they both like circulating in the market equally? Do you know anything about that?
There's no need to fake diamonds and circulate them that much. They haven't really gotten good at faking diamonds until recently. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think that there's a lot of them. There are way more diamonds in the world than most people realize.
Like
So
I understand that the market is artificially
kept
uh
inflated.
yeah, it's artificially inflated where they limit the supply to increase the demand intentionally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's a handful of companies, or a very few amount of companies, that basically have control over the diamond supply
Right.
and are providing them to these retailers, and they're being sold for whatever they're being sold for. But there's like a lot out there.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. There is, and it just in the last 40 or 50 years they opened up new diamond fields in Siberia, in Canada, and Australia. So they're coming from even more places now. Where I live up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, there's 18 diamond kimberlite pipes. We only get little itty bitty diamonds and not very many of them. So there's no commercial use of these, but there's
Hmm.
diamonds really all over the place.
Well, I've used diamond tip tools. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
use diamond tipped um, blades for cutting like cast iron and stuff like that, and you
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
use diamond tip tools for cutting diamonds. Um,
So I knew a guy who did some semi-precious gem faceting.
Oh, cool, cool.
And yeah, it was interesting how they did it with it was like an ablative wheel. It was like a cast iron wheel that would spin, and they would just like use a grinding wheel on them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that do you do that as well? Facet stuff?
I don't facet, but I cab. I make like that Salamalane gemstone that we looked at before. I do stuff like that,
Oh,
Is that in
or like
mhm.
I cut and polish my azurite too. So
okay.
You
Okay.
use a ball mill for that?
what I use looks kind of like a record player, and
Oh, interesting.
I have little 6-inch records of different grits. I'll start out with like 100 grit,
And it
and
just
when I
spins, and it's a
right, yeah,
liquid.
and then yeah, it's got a water drip on it, and it's made of diamonds diamond grit too. So going back to Justin's diamond tools, and
Hmm.
then
mhm.
I just changed the records to go down in grit until I'm at a 14,000 grit. So I started at 100 and end at 14,000 until you get a really nice shine on it.
Hmm.
So it's like diamond tip sandpaper
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
a
Exactly.
disc, like a disc. Okay,
Yep.
Yeah, 3M makes some really good diamond paper
nice.
or cloth. It's a diamond cloth. Thinking of.
Wow.
I wish I could pick up the camera and walk around because I could show you my little record player machine and show you that. But I can't get the camera back there. So
No, you look like you have a lot of legit stuff back there. No,
there's a lot of
that's
stuff.
awesome. Yeah.
That was when we
And
moved into this building and I saw this big giant room up here. I was in love. I wanted to. Oh yeah, and it's got a sink up here, which is the first time I ever had a sink right in my
I saw
workshop.
that
It's awesome.
utility sink, and I was like, I only see those in basements. Are you in the basement? No, you said you're upstairs. Huh.
Yeah. It's the first time I've ever had a sink in my workshop. It's awesome.
Mm.
Cool deal. By the way, and I failed to mention this in the beginning. You know, Kelley has a store online, so you can check out all his cool, stuff and order from him. The link for his store is in the description, so definitely check out his stuff. I already have dibs on the amethyst.
That's not on there,
theme.
so nobody can get it from you.
Exactly. So don't you fucking touch it.
I got it hiding up here, so.
With my name on it. Yes. No. Yes. Please, definitely support Kelley and his store. Like I was able to check it out like the other night, and you had a lot of interest. Well, it's because I've only just recently got into. I've been looking at this thing on a different website that had like these. I can't. I don't know if they're really. Is it what is it called? Agar? Am I saying that right?
I'm
Or
not sure. Agar is
is
like
that
a
a
gelatin they usually use in
okay?
petri dishes, isn't it?
Agar.
Agar.
Is it?
Yeah.
Am I saying? I'm probably saying it wrong.
But
And you're right.
What is it? What does it do?
Well, it's basically it doesn't do anything. I'm just shopping for myself. It's basically this vase that has it looks like crystals are imprinted on it, but
Hmm.
it's I thought it's called agar, but you're right. It's definitely not
I'm
called
not
agar.
sure. I'm not sure. It's not something
Ah,
I'm familiar with. Sorry.
it's okay.
Send me a
Um.
link and I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'll find it. I'll probably just mention it in the after show, but thank you, Sidix. God
Argonite.
damn it. No.
Oh, Organite. Agate? Agate?
Is is that the right word? Yeah, yeah,
Agate.
that looks
Agate.
right. Yeah.
Agate is a type of quartz. It's a cryptocrystalline quartz. I actually have some agate, I think, in Reed.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I have one from the Yellowstone River in Montana, little
So
striped one.
agate is a type of quartz.
It's a type of quartz, right? It's in the quartz. It's in the quartz group of minerals. It's
Okay.
cryptocrystalline quartz, so you can't. The crystals are so small you can't see them with the naked eye,
Hmm. Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
they're also interlocked, so it's pretty hard stuff.
Hmm.
And that's so it makes a good ornamental or gemstone. It's kind of common, so it's not real valuable. So if you're looking at a vase and it was fairly expensive, you're actually paying for the work that went into making the vase more than
Oh
the
yeah,
agate
and it's
itself, right?
yeah, and I
It's a,
Because we're
yeah.
using Justin's diamond tools again to make it, right? And those aren't cheap, right?
Yeah. No, I've seen like, various things made out of agate. Thank you. Now that the word comes to mind. And, I'm only
No, it's
potentially a
okay.
yeah. No, it makes sense because I've seen it in so many things and, to where it does have the appeal of being inexpensive, but it's actually kind of pretty depending on,
Oh
what
yeah,
it
some
looks
of it's
like.
amazingly beautiful,
Yeah.
amazingly beautiful.
Okay.
mhm.
No, I was actually okay. So you answered my question, even though I didn't
Yeah, I
fully
like the
question it. But
depth. You can see into it because it's translucent.
hmm,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm. And there are literally tens of thousands of different types, different colors, different patterns. So it's pretty cool stuff. It
Yeah.
is actually one of my favorites. Going back to my favorites, it's because it is so diversified.
Hmm,
It's
very
fun to
nice.
work in too.
All right.
Well,
Yeah. Is
you
there
know what?
oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was no.
I was just gonna say if there's is there anything else, Kelley, that you wanted to talk about before we start wrapping it up?
I'm good. I had a lot of fun. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys asked me to come and do this. It was a lot. It
Well,
was fun.
next time you're on, you got to bring your cave wand.
Yes.
Okay, Gary, I
I have
will.
one.
I will.
We can de-enchant
The
whatever.
unenchanting cave wand.
Yes. There you go. No, we
Oh,
really.
and some vibranium.
Oh yeah, from
I'll
Wakanda.
see if I can
Please.
get a hold of some of that.
Yeah, no, I
Yes.
was going to ask you. You said the stalagmite Is that
comes up.
quartz?
And it's
Oh, so like
it's
pipe.
it's a aragonite. It's a calcium carbonate. If that helps.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Calcium carbonate. So it's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So no, but what else is calcium carbonate? A gypsum is calcium carbonate, but it's just a different interlocking.
I think it is a carbonate mineral. Yeah.
Or sodium. It could have been.
There's there's something else in it, and I'm thinking it might be maybe a molecule of magnesium is in gypsum. I'm not positive though, honestly. I'm not a chemist, unfortunately.
Well, darn.
Yeah,
I should know this still though.
expertise.
I still should know this.
Yeah, one expertise at a time.
Please.
You don't
Yeah,
have to
I
take,
used to get
you
tested
save-
on. I used to get tested on that kind of stuff though when I was in college. What
Yeah.
elements were in the minerals? And
save some fields for the rest of us.
Yeah, right. But, you know.
Yeah, especially when you're talking to Malty, he knows everything about everything.
That's not true. I know this.
I said I know it's not true.
Do you not see the banner on the lower third, sir?
Malty knows a little bit about everything. Of everything about everything.
Speaking of which, got a little quickie for us, Malty?
All right, Malty, teach us something.
Teach. Go.
All right, you're at hotspot.
The scum that you scrape off your shower walls might be saving us from microplastics.
Okay. Well, hot
Yeah.
damn.
You're just gonna leave us with that? Like,
some biochemists are trying to use biofilm as a way to make this sticky mesh to pull microplastics out of like water and things like that. So that will give you a glob of goop that has a bunch of microplastics that can then be recycled properly.
so if we all just bathed in the ocean, we would fix the problem? Is that no? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't touch your scum in your shower?
Well, no. I mean, it's just that they're using biofilm. They're trying to use biofilm as a way of collecting microplastics. So that's where the scum in the shower comes from. Biofilm. Sorry.
All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
And that's why he has his own segment.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now I want.
Oh, go ahead.
I would say now I totally want to know more about that.
Right.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to. I would say I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight unless I learn more.
All right. Well, we'll get more education here in the after show.
Yeah, man. After show educated. Probably not. But yes, please join us in the after show. First and foremost, please follow and support Kelley via the link to his store website down below. Cool stuff on there. Cool stuff. Gotta check it out.
Thanks.
You know, I know a lot from when you were on Neil's show. A lot of people were curious about, dabbling into whatever you had to offer. But, it was great to I certainly appreciate your knowledge and background and experience from, when you used to have that faith in, the pagan, and how you felt you acknowledged and sought for yourself that none of that was true. But yet, in a way, it transformed into the passion that you have now with the thing, with your store and your research and everything else. So that's a beautiful thing on its own. So we appreciate your knowledge and,
thanks.
Thank you. Really.
I just wanted to kind of touch on that for 1 second. I've seen a lot of people that were formerly really big into woo, or just whatever it is, that are, once they've learned the kind of the truth and the facts about these things, they're like the biggest proponents of skepticism in this field. And it's because they know that people just like them are susceptible to believe in these things for the same reasons they did, and they're out there really putting in a lot of effort to get people out of this.
Oh yeah,
because and so there's some of the biggest proponents of science and skepticism and education on these topics are people that were really deep into it before, and usually just because they fell into it, and so they're doing a lot of work to get, to teach people how to kind of navigate these things.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah. And beyond that, you do the work that you do for the ACD Discord, and we more than grateful to you for us
That's
supporting
nothing.
The community and doing the hosting for the Tuesday night interviews and stuff, like, and by all means, if you guys haven't checked that out, please do. It's fun to get to know those hosts, and now that you've had the experience twice over now, just being interviewed yourself in a way, like, that's, yeah.
I feel like I'm somebody now.
Yeah, man. No, but if you have some time, we'll jump on over into the server, please. If anyone is not already there, tiny.cc/IFDC. Yeah. I'm here. I'm slowly signing back into my social media stuff. You can follow and show up to Justin's channel on Facebook and Twitter. Justin's channel. Justin has a channel. Yes, Justin has a channel. And follow me Facebook as Twitter as well. Multi, my good Sir Multi.
Hello. Yes.
Where you be?
I'll be on the nonprofits mostly, and on the Discord. Yeah, we just recorded a couple episodes of the nonprofits, which will be airing over the next 2 weeks, and then we'll have we got some really interesting guest hosts coming up. I think
you had Shannon Q on one, right? And then who was the other?
Jamie Boone.
Oh yeah, I saw Jamie pop in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. So Jamie Boone. I was on a show with him, Neil, and Johnny P. Angel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'll air Sunday after next.
Yeah, it was pretty legit sitting on that recording. It was good. I enjoyed that. Rollins?
I'll have Shannon Q on Tuesday too, if anybody would like to talk to Shannon.
Oh, she's
nice. For the Meet the Captain crew. Nice.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Rollin, where you be?
I'm on Twitter at Rollin Wolfhart, same way it's spelled on here. And I have a Twitch channel, technically, where I stream things on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's at Wolfhart X11. That's what I do.
Do you have two Twitch channels?
I have another one, but that one's later on.
Oh no, but you're saying you stream like gaming and stuff, right? And then there's a separate one? Okay.
There's another one that's for something else, but I'll wait until it actually has stuff on it before I say anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I need to get the more direct details so I can add those to the descriptions and stuff. So yeah. Later day. Okay. All right. That's it. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you again, Kelley, for joining us, and
thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And by all means, like, this is not a one-time hit. Like, you're more than welcome to just jump in. Like, usually we have discussions about politics, religions, and everything else in between. So it's actually nice to talk about something else. And it was interesting. I learned a lot. I'm sure Justin learned a lot. I'm sure everyone else of our 5 other viewers learned a lot.
I learned that magical wands grow in caves.
There it is.
You need to be a level 14 Woo wizard in order to use it or to craft it.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Do that.
Oh shit. All right. We'll see you guys in the Discord. Good night.
Bye-bye.